Fidel Castro's daughter speaks to Cal State Fullerton students about her life in the communist Cuba.
The campus of Cal State Fullerton is expanding. The university has purchased new office space. We'll tell you where coming up. The entertainment industry is gearing up for the biggest event of the year.
And emojis are making it easier to express your thoughts on Facebook. OC News starts right now. Welcome and thank you for joining us on this edition of OC News. I'm Matthew Bruce.
And I'm Isla Martinez. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students in the Department of Communications at Cal State Fullerton.
Growing up in communist Cuba was challenging, even for dictators Fidel Castro's daughter. Elena Fernandez kicked off CFU's Association for Intercultural Awareness First Social Justice Week discussion of her life in communist Cuba. Let's turn now to Sarah Fenton, who has the story.
She was born and raised in Cuba during the revolution and escaped with her daughter in 1993. Her name is Elena Fernandez, and she is the daughter of Fidel Castro. On Monday night, she spoke to students at Cal State Fullerton about her experience.
I tried to describe whatever was happening in the country during the first years of the revolution, what had changed, what has not, something like that, mixed with anecdotes, personal things, to make it funny, at least.
Elena spoke in the TSU Pavilion at Cal State Fullerton as part of ASI ACA's first Social Justice Week.
Basically, Social Justice Week is like a week full of different events like that. We advocate for the minorities. We promote awareness about discrimination, gender, racism, sexism, and we want to stand up for the minorities and make the students aware of those issues going on.
She spoke about life in Cuba and described the day she escaped with her daughter.
And it was disguised as a Spanish tourist, that I was able to escape my own country. It was December of 1993. My daughter joined me a few days later, and we celebrated New Year's Eve in freedom.
At the end of her discussion, she answered questions from the audience, spoke one-on-one with students and parents, and even posed for a few pictures.
From the island of Cuba to the TSU Pavilion, Elena Fernandez spoke to Cal State Fullerton about the future of their government and hoped to leave just a sprinkle of curiosity. From the TSU Pavilion, I'm Sarah Fenton.
Author and journalist Elena Bundles gave CSUF students a special meet greet last week during Black History Month event.
Elena Bundles, a journalist and great-granddaughter of Madam C.J. Walker, held a special meet and greet for Cal State Fullerton students at the African American Resource Center. Bundles answered questions for students on topics such as Madam C.J. Walker and Black History Month.
I've had a great conversation with faculty members and with students, and I'm always happy to hear what students are thinking. But I'm here to talk about Madam C.J. Walker, my great-great-grandmother, and her daughter, Lelia Walker, my namesake, who was a part of the Harlem Renaissance. I'm going to weave in the really current topic of Black Lives Matter, because I think history is such an important informant for the way that we view what's going on now. We really need to understand our history, and understanding what Madam Walker did as an entrepreneur, as a political activist, a patron of the arts, a person who supported the anti-lynching movement, which in a sense was Black Lives Matter of the early 20th century, really trying to make some connections between her life and what's going on now.
Bundles also spoke as a keynote speaker at the Black History Month reception later that evening. More presentations, lectures, and events celebrating Black History Month will be held. I'm Ilana Garret, reporting for OC News.
Cal State Fullerton is expanding its campus after it bought two buildings that once belonged to the Western State College of Law on North State College Boulevard. The university plans on using the newly acquired buildings as office space for the CSUF Auxiliary Services Corporation, the University Extended Education Program, and the Department of Research, Creating Activities and Technology Transfer. The Western State of College Law will relocate in March, and later this month, CSUF will begin its own repairs and upgrades on the buildings.
Coming up after the break, find out why a certain presidential candidate is tripping over the competition.
And you'll need to carry your sunglasses with you all, because It's going to be hot this week.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
I already knew that I was gonna go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm gonna get my law degree. Then I'm gonna come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined, it's gonna happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
2, 1. Find out who's feeling the burn, why Donald Trump is winning, and see a cute video of a 106-year-old dancing with the president. Here's Elena with the politics this week.
Donald Trump is winning, 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 winning.
We won with young. We won with old. We won with highly educated. We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
Trump was highly favored even before results started coming in. The real fight was between Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio for second place. Cruz spinning his showing in Nevada as progress and Rubio touting his establishment. Candidate identity as a critical for the general election. As the Republicans watched the Nevada returns come in, Democrats hit them on the issue at the race at CNN's South Carolina town hall. Bernie Sanders courting the minority vote ahead of the state's Saturday primary and hitting rival Hillary Clinton over her paid speeches to Wall Street, demanding she release the transcripts. Clinton said she would, on the condition that everybody does it, and that includes the Republicans.
Clinton saying she would on one condition.
Sure, if everybody does it, and that includes the Republicans. Why is there one standard for me and not for everybody else?
Speaking of Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton stealing back some momentum after her victory in Nevada and caucuses. Clinton finally is no longer feeling the burn. Clinton wants to knock down all the barriers that are holding people back, a message her campaign believes is resonating with African-American voters in South Carolina, which holds its primary on Saturday. Clinton has an 18-point lead over Sanders in the Palmetto State, buoyed by her 37-point lead among black voters. Sanders making his own appeal to the key demographic voting bloc, highlighting his activism during the civil rights era, including a 1963 arrest in Chicago. Clinton is getting a little star power in her bid for support, with the new ad out narrated by actor Morgan Freeman.
Is their names Trayvon Martin,
shot to death.
Dontre Hamilton,
unarmed.
Sandra Bland,
Did nothing wrong.
and makes their mother's fight for justice her own. She speaks for a city poisoned by indifference.
We need action now.
Even as Clinton rebounds from her New Hampshire loss, questions lingering about perceptions from some voters that she's not honest and trustworthy, an area she needs to work on as acknowledged on the State of the Union. This weekend, back to you, Matt.
The East Coast is getting hammered with bad weather, tornadoes, blizzards, and snow. But it sure is a completely different story for us in Southern California. We had a gorgeous day today in Fullerton. Let's turn to Erdavia Simpson, who has our very latest weather forecast.
This has been great summer-like weather, and it will last into the weekend. It's a lovely day at Laguna Beach with temperatures into the 80s. If you plan on going to the beaches, beware there is a surf advisory from tonight into tomorrow where we can see a set up to 13 feet high due to the building westerly swell for surf. In Huntington Beach, we can see a set up to 4 feet high today. The beaches will be sunny and clear with highs hitting around 82 degrees. Temperatures here in Fullerton are 84 degrees with a low of 51. Winds are 6 miles per hour. Sunrise tomorrow is 6:25 a.m. and sunset at 5:44 today. The warm spell across Southern California continues on Wednesday with clear skies and light breezes. In most areas, offshore winds is the reason we have this high pressure that will dominate this weather for the next few days. On our forecast, in our 5-day forecast, cooler weather as we head into the weekend, Los Angeles and Orange counties, along with the valleys and Inland Empire. We'll see temperatures into the mid to upper 80s. Thursday, high of 86 with the low of 54, and Friday, 83 high with the low of 53. Temperatures are expected to cool down a bit by the weekend, but into the weekend, we'll see some clear skies and mild weather into Oscar Sunday. However, we expect pressure to build back in and take us into the middle of next week, where great weather conditions will continue. However, I can't say the same about the national weather. We have current tips in the Midwest. Denver here is at 45 degrees. Albuquerque, New Mexico got that cold end at 39 degrees. And into Chicago and Illinois, the temperatures are decreasing by the hour due to a heavy snowstorm moving in. Severe weather is brought in by Winter Storm Petros. Will continue to bring snow and strong winds to parts of the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Appalachians Wednesday into Thursday. The combination of snow and wind leading into blizzards and near blizzard conditions in some areas, causing dangerous travel conditions. Tornadoes have hit parts of Louisiana and Florida, and both are experiencing high winds and severe thunderstorms, along with North Carolina and Virginia. Severe storms tore through Hampton Roads region in Virginia, and police say several key roads in Waverly are impassable due to storm damage and flooding and high water. In Chicago and Detroit, up to 8 to 12 inches of snow is expected due to the snowstorm, and New York will be seeing about 2 to 3 inches of rain. That's all for weather. I look forward to that warm Oscar Sunday. Back to you.
Coming up, the feud between Kesha and Sony is just heating up, and CSUF men's basketball is looking to push their way through the postseason.
And later, find out which emojis joined Facebook.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Now it's time to catch up on this busy week in entertainment with Miguel Moya.
The case of Kesha's rape allegations against Sony record producer Lucas Gottwald, also known as Dr. Luke, continues to get messy. Kesha first filed the complaint in October 2014 and says she feels threatened and cannot continue to work with Gottwald. Gottwald has responded saying the allegations are completely false and that she is using the allegations to leverage a new contract with Sony. This complicated situation continues to grow as a GoFundMe account has been set up to raise money to buy out Kesha's current contract from Sony so she doesn't have to work with Gottwald anymore. Fellow artists such as Adele, Miley Cyrus, Kelly Clarkson, and many others have spoken out in support of Kesha, even resulting in the hashtag #FreeKesha. Taylor Swift publicly donated $250,000 to support the cause as well. It's clear that this has become more than just Kesha versus Gottwald for many people, such as Lena Dunham, creator of the hit TV show Girls. This has become a case about the legal system and how it fails to protect women from their abusers. This case seems to be far from over, and the support continues to grow for Kesha. Police unions in Tennessee, Miami, and Tampa have called for officers to boycott Beyonce's music and to not work at her upcoming shows following her Super Bowl performance and her new video for her song Formation, which they feel promotes an anti-police message. President of the Miami Union, Javier Ortiz, stated that Beyonce used her halftime performance to show that she does not support law enforcement whatsoever through her anti-police symbols. Andrea Davis, Tampa police spokeswoman, stated that she feels that the officers will continue to volunteer for Beyonce, and she feels that this situation has been blown out of proportion. The chapter of Fraternal Order of Police in Nashville has asked officers not to volunteer for Beyonce's show in May. Beyonce's tour starts with a sold-out show in Miami on April 27th, followed by a show in Tampa on April 29th. Rapper Curtis Jackson, also known as 50 Cent, is facing legal trouble following a series of his Instagram photos featuring the rapper posing with a vast amount of cash. Now, while other rappers have made similar posts in the past, not all of them were in the position that Jackson is currently in, considering the fact that the rapper filed for bankruptcy last July. So maybe flaunting a ton of cash publicly isn't the best thing to do while facing a bankruptcy case. Judge Ann Nevins, who presided over the case, feels that Jackson has been hiding assets so he doesn't have to pay the legal settlements he's facing, which totals in $30 million. Make sure to tune into the Oscars, which airs this Sunday at 4 p.m. on ABC. One last note, we like to remember Harper Lee, author of the famous book To Kill a Mockingbird. While she will be missed, her words will never be forgotten.
The stars will be shining bright in Hollywood this weekend as the Dolby Theater rolls out the red carpet for the 88th Annual Academy Awards. The pre-show buzz has been building since January's nominations, and OC News is on campus to gauge the hype for this year's event.
With the 88th Academy Awards just around the corner, we took to the campus at Cal State Fullerton to gauge the interest of students in the Academy. Had they seen any of the films? Who's going to win Best Actor? And has the lack of racial diversity impacted their perception of the award show? We took to students to find out.
I think Revenant's going to win. Okay. The Academy tends to go for historical pictures, and it has good cinematography, good acting. A lot of A-listers. Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch them, maybe I won't. I just watch them to see celebrities and what they're wearing. That's really it. But the movies are great too. I just don't really care who wins, who doesn't.
I've seen diversity in the past. This year is kind of slim, but Halle Berry's won before, Jamie Foxx has won before, so it could be better. But if you look at diversity in like the historic films for like Best Picture and like what the Academy likes, you don't see it as often in like leading roles.
I personally don't care. Okay. And I guess it just goes back to the lack of diversity because I don't see anybody that looks like me and it doesn't attract to me and I can't relate to it. And I don't want to speak in behalf of my friends, but I want to say that they have common ideas into that we just don't really care because, it's the same people all over and over again. It's really nothing new.
I think Leo's going to get it. It's like his time. I think they feel bad for him, and he intentionally, I believe he intentionally went towards a historical piece to actually get it. He tried it in the past with like Gangs of New York and other stuff, so it's his time.
Definitely, I think his time has come. I think he did some really good acting in that. I think he might deserve it, so hopefully. I think so. Okay. I haven't seen any of the other movies, so I don't have really anything to compare it with, but yeah.
Is this the year Leo wins his first Oscar? Who will win Best Picture? Will the lack of racial diversity bear its ugly head? With Chris Rock keeping the mood light, tune in Sunday. For OC News, I'm Joe Moreno.
CSUF men's basketball is jumping through hoops for a playoff spot, and the featherweight champion Conor McGregor moves up 2 weight classes. Our own sports anchor Riley Escamboza has the latest.
With only 3 games left in the season, CSUF men's basketball looks to make its postseason push. Titans hope to keep their season alive as only the top 8 teams make it in the Big West Conference tournament, which will decide what team will represent the conference in the NCAA tournament. CSUF looks to knock Cal Poly out of the 8th spot on Thursday night, as they sit only 2 games behind. Even with the win, the Titans will win out the rest of the season to secure a spot in the playoffs. Titans baseball will return Friday for its official home opener of the 2016 season against Indiana for a 3-game series. They are looking to continue momentum after last season's successful campaign where they secured their 20th conference title. 20 players returned from the previous year, and the team is currently ranked as the 25th team in the country. The McGregor and Dos Anjos fight is off, but the show must go on. The current UFC featherweight champion, Conor McGregor, has decided to move up 2 weight classes to battle Nate Diaz in a non-title welterweight fight at UFC 196 on March 5th. McGregor was initially set to fight Rafael Dos Anjos on that same date, but Dos Anjos was forced to officially withdraw Tuesday due to a broken foot. Diaz is a longtime lightweight with a UFC record of 18-10, coming off a decision win in December. With less than 2 weeks between now and the fight, the pair agreed for it to be contested at 170 pounds. It will be McGregor's first career appearance at that weight. Colorado Rockies shortstop Jose Reyes has been placed on paid leave by the MLB until a verdict is given in his domestic violence case. The MLB's domestic violence policy permits Commissioner Rob Manfred to impose a paid suspension on Reyes upon completion of his case. The MLB is currently also investigating New York Yankees closer Aroldis Chapman and Los Angeles Dodgers outfielder Yasiel Puig under the MLB's domestic violence policy as well. In light of this information, it's no wonder that MLB teams are now spending a considerable amount of time during their spring training better preparing all of their players for the heavy downpour from the media that they are bound to face in the 2016 season. The Ducks look to continue their 5-game winning streak tonight as they face off against the Buffalo Sabres on home ice at 7:30. Every win counts for the Ducks, considering they are only 4 points behind the LA Kings in the Pacific Division. With only 25 games left in the season, the Ducks will have to continue hammering out the points to secure a top spot in the NHL playoffs. That's all we have today. Back to you.
After more than a year of working to build alternatives to its trademark like button, Facebook has now globally launched emoji reactions. Facebook said it wanted to give users more authentic ways to quickly and easily respond to posts, whether they are sad, serious, funny, or happy. By holding down the like button on your mobile app or hovering over the icon on a desktop, it gives you an expanded menu allowing you to choose from 6 different animated emoji reactions, like love, haha, wow, sad, or angry. Reactions are designed to be an extension of the like button as opposed to a full-on replacement. Users can still respond to a post or comment with the traditional like button and will be notified when their posts receive reactions in the same way they're notified about likes. Join us on social media to tell us about important stories you see and whether items you would like to see covered on OC News.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all under the OC News CSUF handle. That's going to do it for us here. See you back here Monday at 5 p.m. for another edition of OC News. Good night.